Dang, this sprint boost is like fast, holy crap. I chose the MP5 for this fast ADS build because the MP5 in a lot of Call of Duty games just naturally has fast ADS times, so I can just like this looks like an old school like Call of Duty ADS speed. Alright, here's my setup. Once you have all these attachments, this becomes the most fastest ADS weapon in the whole game. I'm not sure if a pistol can ADS faster than this because I'm adding a lot of values on top of this, so I think it actually outdoes like the pistol even. Because you only have so much you can do with the pistol, but with the SMG, it's like a small weapon, but you can add a lot of attachments. That's why SMGs are really great for mobility builds. Alright, so let's go over the attachments. So I have the Latchman Pulsar, and I have recoil steadiness because the recoil and stuff on this gun is really garbage. Now, and I know like we're making mobility builds here, but I don't really need aim walking speed because that's not exactly the build I'm trying to make here. But I do have ADS speed for the tuning. And then we have the, what is it? VLK MWII. It's the laser sight that always has like ADS, aiming stability, sprint to fire. This is the best laser sight in the whole game. You know, depending on like what kind of build you're making. If you want any of these attributes, it's the best laser to have. It not only does it have like 3 categories of these stats, but it's actually better in each category too. Like the stats and values are higher. So if we go to tune, we have sprint to fire, which out of all my builds, this gun right here also has the best sprint to fire as well. So it's winning at sprint to fire, ADS speed, and the fastest movement possible in the entire game, which is tactical sprint. So this gun is doing 3 things. I'm trying to think if it does more than that. And for the stock, we have the stockless mod, of course. Now you can't tune this, but the values are just much higher, so it doesn't really matter. So we have aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and hip recoil control. I mean, that's alright, you know. You can walk around hip fire, just not have to worry about like aiming, but we can aim ADS super fast, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, and then for the grip, we have, let me click on it so you guys can see it, we have the Latchman TCG. We have recoil control for this. Interesting. Why do I have this though? For the aim down sight. That's exactly why I put that on, just because sometimes I use attachments not for their base stat, but just because I can tune them. Alright, and then the last but not least, we have the 15 round mag, probably the most least used magazine in the whole game, I would say. I feel like I could safely say that, like who uses a 15 round mag? But this gives us movement speed, aim down sight speed, which is that's what we're going for, sprint to fire speed, which is the best gun, probably the best gun in the whole game for that, honestly. At least, you know, besides like, you know, like a pistol or something, but you know, who wants to run around with a pistol? And reload quickness. See, I need to write that one down. I don't have that in my category of like stuff. So that's like another one. So let me go over all the movement categories. So obviously, like before you start out, if you go down here, you have mobility. So you want to think about your build when you have like mobility down there as like a stat. That's like a main core thing. It's like an all-arounder. But let's go over some of the other ones that you'll see as some stats or some secret ones that's not really like mentioned. So we have ADS speed, aim walking speed, movement speed, sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, crouch movement speed, hip walking speed, mobility as I listed, tac sprint speed, which is not listed in the game, but that is a thing, and tac sprint to fire, which that's another thing. It's like sprint to fire, but it's tac sprint to fire. It's not listed in the game. And also have bullet velocity. That's not movement to your character, but I didn't know where else to put it, so I figured it's moving fast, it's movement, why not put it in this category? And then last but not least, reload quickness, which I just almost forgot that was a thing, so that's cool. I just added that to my list. Alright, so you want to see if this thing is actually good, so let me throw in some clips of search and destroy for me running around with this gun. Oh, this got to be OP, this tac sprint speed. Let's see how this goes. Okay. I'm already killing them on their base.
Where?
Dang.
Hey, then she said, hey, and I said, hey. I said, hey, are you at the mall? And she said, she didn't answer yet.
I have tried in the past to see what weapons have the best strafe speed, because I wanted to make something like Stalker from Modern Warfare 3. And I tried many weapons. I had to really think about it. And I went with the, the P90, because it has all those values that I need for tuning. Like, it has a comb. It has like an underbarrel. Like some of these guns, they'll have like maybe one of these. Like it might be like a smaller gun, but it doesn't have the values. It maybe be like a gun that has a comb, but it doesn't have an undergrip, or like an underbarrel, or it has an underbarrel but no comb. But this gun has it all. Like after I figured that out, I played with it. I was like, wait a minute, this could be it. And here we go, we have it. Like look at this. I have challenged people in sniping and search and destroy. I had like 3 or 4 people trying to snipe me, and they can't hit me. I'm literally like walking in the open. I'm not even behind cover. I'm just doing this, and they literally can't hit me because look at this movement. This is unreal. There's no one else moving like this in the game, because the movement in this game is really slowed down. Alright, now let me show you all the attachment pieces I used. I guess I'll start right here. I usually start with like ammunition and work my way around clockwise. Alright, so we have the FSS Shark Fin 90. Does it show the stats for this? Okay, this is one of those weird attachments where it doesn't show any stats, and I didn't want any debuffs, and I used this purely for the tuning. Yeah, I don't see any extra stats. Okay, so I legit like used this just for the tuning. So the tuning I wanted was aim walking speed. That is the main thing I am trying to build with this gun. Is it must have aim walking speed in every attachment slot or something. I also went with ADS speed as a background like thing to slide down, because you know, if it's about aim walking, I also want to get into that position where I am aiming, so I can like do the aiming and walking. I mean that only makes sense, but yeah, I use the FSS Shark Fin 90. For the next attachment, I have the F-Tag Defense. I can never remember all these attachment names, but I can just show you it. So if we look in the left column here, it's not on the bottom this time, it's on the left, is aim walking speed. That is why I put this barrel on. I didn't really like care too much for the base value stats, or the pros that you see on the right side of my screen. But I just wanted the aim walking speed, so I also put aim down sight speed as the background. This attachment is pretty weird because one of the cons is movement speed, and that might hinder it, but like I feel like having that aim walking speed like counters it. There's probably something else like moving around that is slower, but when I'm aiming and walking, I don't think that's really hindered by the movement speed as much. Alright, and for the stock, we have the Hollow Extended stock. Pretty simple name. This gives me aim walking speed as a pro, which that's awesome, and it gives me sprint speed. That's a nice secondary thing to have. I don't know if I would be sprinting with this though, because I'm going to be walking around mostly. And for the tuning, I have absolutely no idea why this aiming idle stability, this should be on aiming walking speed. Alright, so here we have the comb. This is a very big factor of why I chose this weapon, because it has a comb. I'll show you which one. So we went with this one, and I believe I know why. See, that one has movement speed as a penalty. This one has aim walking speed. We definitely do not want that one at all. So I went with this one. Here we have aim walking speed and aim down sight speed, as always. And then here we have the the light rail. This gives us movement speed. That's pretty nice. I mean, this is what section is this? Just rail? Yeah, this is a really specific section we have right here. But this gives us a nice movement speed, which I believe will help us with the aim walking speed. And if we go to tuning, we'd go for like sprint speed or like sprint to fire, but we're not really sprinting around with this. And this recoil does help out, but that movement speed as like a pro is very nice. I can show you guys some clips of me using this weapon. It definitely works. Fudge. Yo, this actually worked. Let's go. I love this thing so much.
No! I don't want.
What, Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
I didn't know what you meant. I'm sorry.
Jungle, this is a really fierce standoff.
Are you watching me?
Yeah.
Check out my movement. What do you think about the speed?
Check out my movement. Overclock online.
I'd like to let you guys know that the MP5 also has, you know, pretty nice movement speed. I feel like out of all my builds, this probably has the best movement speed, I would say, out of the bunch. But that's not why I built this. I didn't build it off movement speed. It was just something I really wanted as, like, you know, nice background, like secondary, like, thing to have. I mostly built this for sprint speed. So with this weapon, you can sprint around super fast. Alright, so we have the 5.5 Fennec mini tac. What is this? This is like the one that makes the barrel really short. This is the barrel section we're talking about. So for the pros, we have aim down sight speed and movement speed. Very nice, very nice. That's what we need. Yeah, I guess I just left this neutral because I really didn't know like what to do with it. I think that's why. Because like I'm just going for sprint speed, and since sprint is like not there, then there's like really no point of like changing any of that. I don't want to make the recoil like really bad or nothing. And for the, what is it, laser sight, we have the flashlight. No one uses flashlights in this game. The reason I use this is for sprint to fire speed, because since this is a sprint build, I would also want to be able to sprint to fire really fast. And for the stock, we have we can't tune this, but it has aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and hip recoil control, which hip recoil control is actually pretty nice to have for speed builds, because you can walk around and just like hip fire and shoot people, and it's very effective. Alright, and for the grip, we have, I'm going to click on this, the F-Tech rubber grip. And let me see, the reason why I use this is because, look, just for the sprint to fire speed, like what else? Aim down sight speed's okay. And here we have, what is it? Sprint to fire speed is all the way tuned because, I mean, this is a sprint build, so I'm always going to want sprint to fire. I left the other one neutral because I just wasn't too sure. I don't want to F up the recoil or the aim down sight, so I just left it neutral. And for the magazine, so for the pros, it gives you high grain ammunition. You know, it's just stronger bullets. Movement speed, which that's what I want. I want movement speed as well. Aim down sight speed, it's a nice passive to have, not really going for it. And sprint to fire speed, that's just really good to have for like this build because we're sprinting around fast. The reason why I chose this SMG over the others is not only is it just a light SMG to like run around with, but this actually, in the statistic values of all the guns, this has the best sprint speed. Like, it just naturally has really good sprint speed, so you could just, so since it's like already great, I just made it even better. So it just, since you can have sprint like forever, like tactical sprint, like you're moving like at the fastest pace. Like with the MP5, you're moving like faster than anything, but tactical sprint does run out. But with sprint speed, you never run out of it, so you can just constantly go at this speed and you'll never stop, like at all. So it's really awesome to have.
Yeah, something at a good table with like old people.
Hello there.
Over here, B. He's running.
You got Voodoo on so hard, holy crap.
All saber. Detonate the target to win. We secured the bomb.
Alright, next up we have the Expedite. I use this weapon the same reason I use the P90. It just has a lot of good attachment like value, like in different areas. Like it has like this under grip thing that like, I would have to show you the attachments, but anyways, this is my crouch build. Alright, we're going to start with the underbarrel, and we have the TV record grip. This gives us hip fire accuracy, which is nice to have, and aim walking steadiness. And once we tune it, it gives us hip fire accuracy and aim walking speed, or hip walking speed, my bad. And for the muzzle, I use the Vulture Claw, really cool sounding like attachment. It looks dope too, but I don't really see anyone using breaching devices. They're really dope, especially on shotguns. But anyways, I use this because it gives me hip walking speed. I just wanted that hip walking speed value. And for the barrel, I'm using the 14 polarized barrel. This gives us aim down sight speed, which I guess is okay. Wider pellet spread, that's dope. Movement speed, now movement speed is just when you're making a mobility build or just trying to be speedy, movement just always helps you out. Aim walking speed and aim down sight, that's just nice to have. For the stock, I'm using the Schlager Renaissance, I can't speak at all. So here we go, crouch movement speed as a base. Mwah, that is exactly what I'm looking for. This is a crouch movement speed build, and I'm just happy to use this. This gives us sprint speed, not really going to use that. Aim down sight speed, that's okay to have. And if we tune it, we can get aim walking steadiness, and then aim walking speed. So I'm just adding a little bit more like movement value into this. Crouch movement speed is just a stat you just barely see in weapons, so I was happy that the shotgun has two different areas of that. So right here we have the guard, which that's what shotguns have, so we get the second crouch movement speed value, and that's what this gives us, and aim down sight speed. And if we tune it, we can also tune for crouch movement speed, which is awesome. And we have recoil steadiness, because why not? And yeah, that's my crouch movement speed build. I was testing the crouch movement speed, and I had my friend walk in front of me, because I was wanting to see how fast this crouch movement speed is, and the walking speed is just slightly faster than this crouch movement speed. So like you're basically like getting around as if you're walking, but you're crouched. Like that is so useful, and I use this. And like your body is just shrunk down when you're crouched, so you're less likely to get shot, and you're more silent. It is so good to have this. Alright, and I don't know how you really pronounce this weapon. It's like the Karak .300. So anyways, this is like the newest sniper, and yeah, the ADS speed on my build is kind of trash. You guys can make your own version. Mine's just slow, but you know what, this is mostly for big maps, like really huge maps, like a 10v10 sized, or a ground war, or maybe you're playing DMZ. This is mostly for that, so it's not really used for small maps, but this is very high bullet velocity. So as soon as I fired my weapon, I don't know why I reloaded, as soon as I fired my weapon, my bullet is instantly hitting these guys. In case you guys are not in the know, the M4 and the what is it, the Scar Light, I forgot what it's called on here, but the like the fast shooting, like the Scar Light is has a 590 bullet velocity, which is decent, but this thing has a 1850 bullet velocity. That's a huge difference. So you can see, you could be laying down on a building top and someone could just be vibing up in the mountains, and you could shoot this thing and it'll just hit that person like almost instantly. Alright, so with this build, there's only 3 attachments that really creates this high velocity. And it's the ammunition, the muzzle, and the barrel. I mean, that makes sense, right? It's everything up in the front. It's a nice thing to have if you're trying to shoot someone really far away. And bullet velocity, because that's what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to achieve bullet velocity. Also, the base ammunition I chose is high velocity, which gives you bullet velocity. So you can tune it and you can just have it as a pro. Very nice to have. Alright, and for the muzzle, we're going with the nil sound 90 because statistically this gives you a 30% bonus to your bullet velocity, which is very nice just in this alone. It says bullet velocity as a pro, but if you want to know how much, it's around 30%. It's at least 30%. Tuning is, well, we went with recoil smoothness, so you can actually hit your target because the thing shoots fast and it kicks a lot, so I definitely recommend having that. And obviously we went with bullet velocity, that's what we're trying to achieve here. For the barrel, you can see that this gives us bullet velocity, the rest doesn't really matter. I mean, that damage range is nice though to have. And for the tuning, recoil steadiness, because we really want to recoil pretty good. And we went for damage range, because that's probably like the second best thing to have for a velocity build. So I went with this laser, because it gives me faster aim down sight speed. The aim down sight speed for my build I have right here kind of sucks, but I mean if you're in a giant map, it doesn't really matter because you're sniping, or it's not like you're running up to someone like up in their face, because you're battling at a range. So I don't think ADS speed really matters too much, but I figured I'd add this anyways because it's blue and the base reticle is blue, and I just went for a blue aesthetic. That's pretty much the only reason why I used this. For our final attachment we have here, we went with the recoil steadiness because this thing shoots fast, it kicks a lot, so just saying you want that recoil steadiness. And then aiming stability, so you can actually hit your target. What's the point in having this really awesome build if you actually just can't even hit your target? And yeah, that's like my build for this. Let's go.
Bro's camping in the corner.
Which corner?
Thanks for opening that.
He is on video. Right.
Here, Plancha, I got you.
Let's go.
Hey, pickaxe only, pickaxe only. Get the plant.
Yo, let's go, baby. That was sick. Alright, and here we have the Bass P. I actually quite love this weapon. The reason I have this here is because you can just walk around and just like, I can just walk up to this guy and oh, look at that, he's dead. But yeah, with this weapon, you don't even have to ADS. It's pretty sick. Alright, I'll give you the build for it. So, underbarrel is the, what is it, Ronin? What is it, Ronin? Crone, groove, whatever. Hip fire accuracy, hip recoil control, and aim walking steadiness. But then you look to the right and it's like hip walking speed goes down. I'm just like, oi, like can you just like, can you give us that as a pro as well and just give us like bad ADS or just bad something else? But like, alright, it's still good though. This is what we got. Hip recoil control, really nice to have. That's probably the main thing we're trying to achieve here is hip recoil control. And we got hip fire accuracy, also really good. Alright, and for the muzzle, we're using the Sandstorm. I remember when before this was even in the game, they added this later as like an additional attachment. That's really cool they do that. I hope they keep doing that. This gives us vertical recoil control. I think I chose this because the way this is built, it kicks like up, like straight up, so I don't have to worry about left and right. For the tuning, we went with recoil stabilization and recoil control. Alright, and the barrel is the Bruin Drake, which gives us aim down spike, you know, nice to have. Movement speed, always great to have. And hip recoil control, which that's what we're trying to achieve, so we are definitely using that. And we got recoil steadiness and damage range. I don't know why I went with damage range, but alright. Oh, I know why, because we're not aiming down sight with this gun. It completely beats the purpose. Alright, and you can see we're not using like the typical VLK laser, which is probably the best. We're using this because this is a different type of build. We're going with the hip. So this gives us hip recoil control and hip fire accuracy, both really great to have, and sprint to fire speed. I mean, yeah, I could use that with this, you know, sprint around and just start shooting from the hip. That's got to be fast, right? We got hip spread and then hip walking speed. Now we did lose a little bit of hip walking speed in one attachment, but hey, we're getting it back here in tuning, so that's great to have. And same thing I believe with maybe this. Yeah, wait, I don't know, it doesn't say hip, but we're getting movement speed, we're getting hip recoil. Let me read it from the top. So we got aim down sight, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and then hip recoil control. That's awesome. You know, I wanted more hip recoil. Why does having no stock give you better hip recoil control? I don't know, you stand and just shoot people. You know what, you don't stand either, you can just walk around. Look at that, not even ADSing. And you can do this too, like look at this guy's like trying to get away from me. Look at that, he's dead. You don't have to ADS.
This one, there's a third one.
It's pretty good ability, just walk around, just... You just walk around, just get kills, let's go.
The valid strategy.
They're from the left side of EO and UO.
What is this build? Like, what am I doing here? So, this one's kind of weird. Instead of like trying to do like one thing with like a weapon like I did with the others, this, or you know, they did have like some extra things with the two, like 2 or 3 things added on. But this one is, I'm trying to be everything with it. This literally has every single like, you know, speed like stat value, like the bullet velocity. I believe it's pretty decent on this. My range like sucks with this. But you know what? I traded that range for fast movement. So look at this thing, like walking around. So hip walking speed's fast. Like everything is good. Crouch movement speed is good. Sprinting is good. Tactical sprinting's good. Aim down sight's pretty good. Look at that. Like everything is good. Like reload quickness is good. Look at that. Just already ready to go. Alright, so starting off, we're going with the Vulture Claw again because of that hip walking speed, and we can't tune it. And for the barrel, we have movement speed, another value, and then aim down sight speed. So you can see that we're getting basically like a little bit of everything. So we got aim walking speed now, more aim down sight speed, the sawed off mod. This gives us aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, hip recoil control, which hip recoil control was actually that last build I just showed you, where we can basically just walk around and just hit fire. I mean, that sounds good for a shotgun, right? And what is this? The guard. The guard was like somewhere over here on the expedite, so it's weird it's over here. For the guard, we're going with this. This gives us hip walking speed, sprint speed. Here we have crouch movement speed, sprint to fire speed. Alright, and for the final attachment, we have the 5 shell mag, which gives me movement speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and reload quickness to top it off with every single like movement stat, so that's awesome. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna run around and there's a man.
I'm just gonna fucking run out and do the helicopter real quick.
Holy crap. Alright. Alright. Okay. Reload. Thanks for the quickness. Oops. Dang, this thing's good.
Oh shit.
Holy crap.
Logan, bro, I don't understand how you can just... Big balls. Ah! Be on B. Dude's no longer on B.
Bro, I feel like I'm sweating with this shotgun. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There's another guy upstairs, I heard it. No, if I would've got that, I would've been so...
Bro, how did I miss those shots?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Bye-bye, Homeland. Build, use stim because it resets your tactical sprint. Throwing knives fast to use, because why not? You got these perks, double time for the double sprint or double tactical sprint duration, and then the 30% increase crouch movement speed. Extra tactical for the stim, fast hands for like the reload quickness, and overlock just so you can have more battle rage, which gives you infinite tactical sprint upon its duration.